Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my YouTube channel. What are we going to look at today? Well, I have a very special deck here called the Fyodor Pavlov. As you may know, this is a channel where we look at tarot decks that I enjoy using or I really like or I think are need to be discovered. This is the artist is Fyodor Pavlov, and this is a very, shall I say, queer tarot. A very beautiful deck. This is Waite based. And this is distributed by US Games. US Games. From 2022. So it's not new. I'm a bit slow. I'm not about doing videos as soon as the decks come out, but more about, using the decks a bit and see how I feel about them and looking at them. And so this is not so much of an unboxing, but more to tell you that this is a deck I really enjoy for different reasons. So let's see if you guys will like it as well. So this is a very nice box to begin with. Very, I'm laughing because I'm thinking, ooh, do I want to do these things? No, I don't want to do these things. This is not what I'm doing. Fyodor Pavlov Tarot right here. It's the same thing as on the side. It's very nicely gold embossed, we say. And then we see at the back here, it says, captivating artist Fyodor Pavlov pays tribute to the seminal Waite tarot deck. I love this. Waite, not Rider-Waite. Waite tarot deck. Imagery by creating a hand-painted tarot deck in watercolor and ink that is informed by his personal queer and trans experiences. The result is a tarot deck that is familiar and timeless while exploring new and diverse representations of gender, sexuality, and culture. Pavlov artfully introduces queer and non-binary identities while staying true to the canonical tarot meanings. This is what the back is saying. You have a few cards here that you can see. It's a very nice box. So let's look inside what we have. I'm opening the box. It's sliding. It's very nice. It's very nicely made. It wasn't cheap. It was like almost 50 euros. But I think it's totally worth it. There's a nice book. It's a hardback book. Here we have the card of the star. It's nice booklet. There's quite a few things in it. So each card has a description and a meaning. There's some spreads at the end. So here we can see introduction, the major, the minor, suit of wands, cups, swords, coins, spreads, and about the artist, right? So we have a book which is 150, 160, 175 pages. You have some spreads. You have a take on the Celtic cross. It's a bit of a weird one because, we all have, there's some variations of the Celtic cross, and I think you just have to find what really works for you. But it is a lovely booklet. Very well, very nicely done. I love it's a small format, but it's hardback, and it's really cute. And it comes, I love these. It's very nice, it comes with this little ribbon to pull the cards. So it's a nicely done box. Gilded edges. I love this. I'm a sucker for these. And this is the back of the cards. Very nice stars, and they're kind of like, they're not flat. I don't know how you say it's not relief because it goes deep. So yeah, they're very nice cards, and the cards are quite flexible, but they're not. They wouldn't tear easily, right? They're thin, they're flexible, but they're not. They seem very sturdy and strong. They wouldn't tear, so it's quite a nice. It's quite a nice feel. I really like them. I think they're very. Usually I like my cardstock to be really thick. Here they're quite thin, but they feel very sturdy and very easily to shuffle. So let's have a look at these cards. What are they saying to us? What are they talking about? Here we have the Fool. So what I like about this deck is that there is a bit of a gender twist, trans twist, queer, but it does not get rid of gender, or it does not pull everything to one side. Like, not all cards are female, or not all cards are male, and there is a good mix of things, right? Here the Fool is obviously more female than in the original Smith-Waite, right? This is the Magician, the High Priestess. So I really like the colors of this deck, and then all of a sudden you have that sort of window you can step in, right? You can step through. The Empress, very beautiful. Oh, this is the Hierophant. The Emperor. Sorry, I jumped. This is the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot. I love the yellow in the Chariot. The Strength, number 8, Smith-Waite based. The Hermit, she's very beautiful, you see. I love the blue. Wheel of Fortune, the Strength, the Justice. I really like this sort of like a little bit of color. And you'll see later on in the suits, the colors, it is kind of color coded. Then we have the Hangman. We have Death here. The Devil is quite interesting. Temperance. Here we have a male figure in Temperance. So you see, he's sort of like switched around a little bit, which works, you know, because I think there's a balance. The Tower, the Star. So he writes that the Star does not pour the jugs here, but is kind of sitting, contemplating the water by crossing her feet, crossing her hands, because it's kind of like what you do when you're sort of taking things in and you're settling ideas, right? When ideas are settling. So this is what the Star is doing. We have the Moon, who's very lovely. We have a wolf and an owl, animals of the night. The Sun, the Judgment, and the World. So this is it for the majors. This is the majors. Let's put them aside. Let's put them here next to my pink tourmaline. Do you like my pink tourmaline? It's lovely. I love the stone. And then let's look at the minor cards. So the minor suits. So the wands tend to have green in them, right? So we have the Ace, the 2. So we still see this the meanings and the ideas of the Smith-Waite in there. You know, we have the 2 of Wands here. We have the chap thinking and planning is action, right? The 3 of Wands is about really taking action outside of your kingdom, conquering something. Something is being done here. There's action. Here we have the 4 of Wands. It's quite similar to what we know. The 5, we have this idea of strife, conflict, or many ideas. 6 of Wands. We see with just a hint of green. The 7, which talks about perseverance. The 8. The 9, and the 10. So it's quite I don't want to say respectful. It's quite in line with the Smith-Waite. The tradition here is very obvious where it's coming from, right? This is the Page of Wands. The Knight. I love the hair of the Knight of Wands, right? It's very. I really like it. The Queen and the King of Wands. You see, we don't really have the red fiery here. The red falls into the sword, you'll see later on. And it makes it feel a bit more like the red is more connected to the blood aspect. You'll see later on. So yeah, we have a king, still a ruler. So these are the wands. Then we have the Ace of Cups, so the blue in the cups, right? The blue that matches my lapis lazuli that I'm wearing today. And the Two of Cups. Here we have two young men. Three of Cups, three ladies. Four of Cups, the 5. So it's, we can really see the Smith-Waite tradition here. The 7s with all the ideas. We have the skull. We have some flowers here. I'm not sure if they're like poppy pods or... but we have the crown, we have the mask, we have the moon, we have the books, we have the castle, we have the skull. So, the ideas of the 7 of Cups are still very much there. The 8 of Cups, we're sort of like walking away with the 8 cups laid out, the 9 and the 10. Pages here, the beginning of inspiration. Maybe you see a woman painting, a painter. The Knight of Cups is off his horse. The Queen, she's pregnant. And the King. Right. Beautiful cards, beautiful design. It's a style. You either love it or you don't. I think it's a very, I think it's a beautiful deck. Ace of Sword. Here, you see we have the red in the swords. All of a sudden. The 2 of Swords and the 3. Look at the 3 of Swords. Isn't that gorgeous? The way the heart is being drawn. I think it's very beautiful, this card. I'm not always a fan to say that the 3 of Swords is heartache, because there's so much more that goes into the idea of the 3 of Swords. But this card is, I think it's beautiful, the way it's drawn. 4, that's a bit different, but we still have this idea of resting after the fight. 5 of Swords, defeat. 6, she's alone there. There's not many people in the boat, you see. So, but it's the idea that, the hurt, the experiences we had is then able to take us from rough waters to softer waters. 7 of Swords. 8, she's tied up to a tree. 9, and the 10 of Swords. Right? So if you're good with, if you like the Smith-Waite tradition, this deck won't be a big problem for you to read with. You can pick it up and immediately start reading with this, right? There's no big difference. Then we have the Knight, the Queen. Love the Queen. Look at that. She's so ready for the fight. And the King. There you go. These are the swords. The Ace of Pentacles, the 2. Look at this. Look at this sort of balance that's happening there. The 3 of Pentacles, which is, we can still see this as a group work, sort of achievements, sort of like, remember the 3s are the first achievement of the suits. We have the 3 and the 10, right? So the 3 of Pentacles is the sort of achievement of something on a smaller scale, I would say. The 4, it's interesting how she's turning our backs here, to show us what she has achieved, what she has, the money, but she's not looking at us. She's not being inviting, right? She's turning your back. And you could almost see that these two, the 4 and the 5s, you could almost see her behind those doors, not opening the doors to these people that need maybe money. I don't know, a narrative. It doesn't have to be this all the time. Here, the 6, we have this idea of charity. The 7 is putting in the work and being patient and seeding, letting grow. Whereas the 8, we have this idea of course, honing your skills. The 9, it's lovely. 10, I'm loving this color, this sort of yellowy amber color, which matches my amber ring. I did not do it on purpose, I promise. And wink wink. And the Knight of Coins, yeah, it's interesting. The Knight of Coins is in a wheelchair. So because we know that the Knight of Coins or the Pentacles is the slowest of all the knights, and he really it takes time. He does things slowly, right? So this is the representation that he's slower than the other knights. He's lost his spontaneity because of the earthly aspect. The Queen and the King. Here you go. Beautiful. So this is a really, really beautiful deck. If it calls to you, don't hesitate. It shuffles very nicely. The card slides really well. And then, look, I think, because this is my technique of reading, it fans beautifully. Beautiful, right? And 1, 2, 3 cards. Okay, so what can we say here? Let me just center these. Of course, they need to find space in the screen. All right, let's have a little narrative here. High Priestess, 2 of Swords, Ace of Coins. The High Priestess talks about, maybe the narrative we have here is tap into your intuition to deal with the dilemma so you can plant the seed. That's a little oracle we have for today, maybe. I will be doing on my Instagram page some posts this week with this particular deck, so you can see how it sort of speaks, how it's what the deck has to say. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Give it a follow, subscribe, check out my Instagram page for more readings, and and see you for our next video and our next tarot review. Bye everyone.